humidity?
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's volcano. I don't know.
Well, most snakes, they have to have water, humidity. They're cold-blooded. So they have to live in an environment where they don't have to regulate their own temperature. If they can't stay warm, they die. Which is why when you go to a zoo and you go into the reptile house, it's usually hot in there. Because they're usually from India,
So they want
Bermuda.
hot weather, you mean?
Yeah, they're cold-blooded.
But in Hawaii, it's not that cold, though.
Sometimes it can be the ecosystem. If not enough prey lives there, they can't survive.
That's one thing over there. I don't know if that's a good one or
I think
negative.
every 10 years, when you have a lot of tourism, you're going to gain and lose a lot of stuff in your ecosystem. I've lived in places where they would gain spiders, flowers that would take over their ecosystem from being brought up there due to tourism.
Yeah.
So you have to be careful what you allow in, which is why when you come through customs, you can't bring dried beads, dried plants, or anything like that.
But going out is okay.
As long as where you're going to doesn't have any rules.
Yeah.
I knew a few people.
So if you're bringing in, they're very strict on that.
Yes, because they're trying to protect their ecosystem. And I know a lot of people that come from Ecuador to America and they say, why am I always searched? And I said, you came from Ecuador. Ecuador is the #1 place in South America and Central America that are known for smuggling drugs. I mean, bananas and drugs, that's what Ecuador is known for.
Before, I don't know what country, but they said it's China. I don't know if it's true. We have this fish, milk fish. It came to a point where they only sell at 50 cents, which is a lot of fish. You know what was, and then later on, we were wondering, because this is supposed to be expensive, we were wondering why, and we were told that because they put drugs in the fish.
Yeah, I knew someone who was bringing a set of encyclopedias from Ecuador to California, and I said, you're going to be taken out of line. They're going to take a knife out. They're going to open up every binder of all the books, because I've seen on YouTube where people try to smuggle heroin in book covers. I mean...
But maybe now it's very hard, huh?
Probably
all the
now.
regulations and all that.
But hundreds of pounds of drugs still get in here every year. And it's interesting, I've seen it on YouTube where a guy is stopped because when he goes through security, he's inserted, like by surgery, he's inserted something into his body to get it through customs. Oh yeah, I've heard of drug mules putting a bag, like a tiny little bag of heroin into their skin to get it through security.
I don't know if you watched that movie Narco.
No, I don't think so.
I have watched that. You know, they pay people there. They have to swallow it.
I've seen that on YouTube.
Oh yeah, that's